Alright guys, welcome back to another video. We are up here in freezing cold Pennsylvania. We're at Kocher Chassis and Restoration checking on the Colorado. So Bob and his team have been working on this thing and it looks pretty sick. There's no bed on it. If we go over here, it looks like the world's smallest pickup truck, and Bob is already getting the four-link stuff and a lot of the floor structure and groundwork laid on the Colorado, and I'm very excited. It's looking pretty sweet. This is going to be like our chariot for, I'd say, all year, running no preps, running radial events. We're going to run Kinston 252 list with it. So we're going to run everything from like back of the track no preps to some like mediocre prep to, some Friday night shootout radial racing. So we got a good game plan with Bob on how we're going to have this thing set up to be like really multi-purpose. You guys know most of our race cars, like the Black Sheep, we only take that to flypaper tracks. And then, I got like that Silver Mustang that I only take to no preps. Well, this thing right here is going to be multi-purpose. So, yeah, Bob's over here. Bob, come on over here. We can talk to people about what we got going on. We did have to keep like some parts of the truck in order to fit the classes that we want to run. So factory front suspension. I know we already talked about this before, but factory front suspension. So it's literally like bone stock upper and lower control arms. And then you are allowed to do a back half. You have to keep factory floors, which it's got factory floors in it. It's got, right now it's just really just a cab, which actually looks pretty clean for like a high mileage Pepsi truck.
Very clean.
But one of the things they says you had to have your frame all the way back to your four link, and as you can see, that's what we got going on here. We got a Quartermax Pro Extreme 4-link kit with their 45-inch housing, and as you can see, the frame has been cut right at the 4-link. So Bob, you know all this stuff here, so tell everybody what's going on, what they're looking at, and take it away.
Yeah, right now the chassis set up for a slick tire, but we'll be able to move it for radial. We lobbed the frame off where the 4-link starts. Quartermax stuff, very good stuff.
Yeah, definitely like the Quartermax stuff.
Yep. We did some Xing, we ran some frame rails up through, getting ready to cut the back of the cab out to start tying the cab in. We got our main hoop in here started. I don't know if you could see that or not, but we got the main hoop started. We got one A-pillar bar done. Typical
Kocher chassis fashion where you really can't see it from outside. I mean, when the door's shut, everything's so high and so tight that the fit and finish is really top notch. And that's like, I talked about it before, just like my white car. I mean, you can't even fit paper between the bar and the headliner. I mean, it's that good a fit and finish. I think that's what makes a cage really nice. Obviously, if it works, but also the fit and finish is good. So.
Yeah, it's got to look as good as it works.
Yes.
Absolutely. So we'll finish off the cage in here and then tie the cage to the back half.
I already sat in the seat. We talked about kind of seating position. In my stuff, I guess from growing up driving the cow, I sit really low in that. I sit kind of far back, so that's kind of what I'm used to, which works perfect here. So Race Tech seat, we got it set pretty far back. We're going to run aftermarket steering column, aftermarket pedal assembly, but still have the factory dash in there. So it literally checks every box. So when we show up to a race, like, they're really not going to have anything to say. Plus it'll be pretty sporty the way it's seated. I like sitting further back. It makes me feel like I'm driving a pro mod. Honestly, that's why. I feel like I'm driving a race car. And if I'm driving something that's like a race car, I want to feel like I'm driving a race car.
You look like a little kid when you're in there.
I do look like a little kid when I'm in there, in all of my cars. So I guess what else we add in here is kind of like the funny car hoop. I guess when you're building like a 25.5, 25.2, 25.3, whatever, they all kind of start off the same, where you get your main hoop and your down bars and everything, and then next you go in and start adding is it the driver containment?
Yeah, driver containment. We'll start the funny car cage and stuff, tie that in. Might even do a little double rail inside just to stiffen it up, so you can be able to go wherever you want to go.
I like that. So like a modified double frame rail with factory frame rails all the way to the back and factory front suspension.
Yes.
I mean, that's pretty tough to beat. That second frame rails, that just helps stiffen up the chassis.
Yeah, it's going to help stiffen stuff up. That way, if you want to go run a prep track, you can.
Awesome. Now everything back here, we got like we mentioned before, a lot of the floor structure, everything laid underneath there, very important. What is this? I guess kind of like the crossbar for where the 4-link.
Yep, cross member for your 4-link. Yep.
It's
centered. We got our dip in there for your dry shaft.
Got the dip in there. That's the important part. So with running all the radial stuff, when you have a bunch of extension, obviously 4-inch drive shaft, you have to clear it. You want to have that dip there, else you run into drive shaft issues. And you said we have like what, almost 8 inches, over 8 inches.
Yeah, about 8 3/4 we got.
So we don't even have a shock that has that much travel. We're running an 8-inch travel shock, so we'll have usable 7 inches of extension, which is, God, that's like an inch and a half more than we have in our black car, and that thing works pretty good. So as far as radial stuff go, I think this truck should work really good. And then like right now, he's got it set up with the bar angles more of like a slick, so we'll be able to go back and forth, change the shock, change ride height a little bit, and everything will be good. But it's got, you know, your X bracing underneath there. It's attached to the frame, and you were talking about running multiple different kickers off of it.
Yep.
So I guess it's going to be that 6.0 cert.
6.0, yeah, we should be able to get 6.0 out of this. Everything's up for discussion. Talking about not bringing nothing out up here, bringing the bars out down here. So from the side, it's going to look like
A normal truck.
like the old Pepsi truck.
Yes. Which I think that would be, pretty slick. Obviously, it's got glass everywhere. I think I saw somewhere someone's got fiberglass doors for Colorado. So if anyone watching knows where the link is to them, like send them to me. Not that I'm looking to do fiberglass doors right now, but I'd like to be able to have a steel set and a fiberglass set depending on what you're doing. But I mean, this thing right here, I think looking, you know, stock hood, it's got the elbow sticking out from it, having the bars come down below, so, you know, it's not, when you see it rolling through the pits, it's not really going to catch your eye. I mean, obviously I'm going to wrap it, it's going to be a good looking truck. It probably will catch your eye, actually. It's going to have like some badass wheels on it. It's going to be 4 links, be sitting on the ground, so yeah, I lied. It's definitely going to catch your eye. But you're not going to be like, damn, that thing's a pro mod, because one, it's not a pro mod, but two, it's not going to have bars coming down the back. But I'm sure underneath the bed, we're going to run a bed cover on it. It's probably going to look rather
There'll
sporty.
be a lot going on under it there. Yep.
Rather sporty.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
You could run this all steel, all glass.
Yeah, this is all steel, all glass.
Yeah, so you could probably race it in all steel, all glass and be competitive.
Yeah, turbo size, we got a 106 on it right now. I think the cap on that's an 88, but I mean, you're talking about all steel, all glass. I think if you go 460 and all steel, all glass,
Oh yeah.
you can win probably. And I mean, I don't doubt that. Making horsepower for us is not really an issue. We can make, you know, as much power as we need to, small block single turbo. But
You want to raise it up and check out the underneath?
yeah, the underneath is sick. And the one thing I will say, you know, when it's sitting on the ground, if you guys do see this once it's all done, when it's sitting there, you're not going to see like bars hanging underneath or anything. I mean, it's clean. It's got like this big, I mean, look at the size of the frame on this thing. And it's got the factory frame all the way back here, so a lot of the bars are tucked up underneath it. I mean, the work on the truck looks absolutely awesome. You guys will be blown away when you see the floor structure in it. All right, so we're here underneath the truck, and as you can see, got some floor structure laid. I'm no chassis expert, but I know it's important to have good floor structure because this is what helps prevent the pretzel.
Yes.
We don't want the soft pretzel
We
here.
don't want the soft pretzel.
So I guess talk us through transmission cross member, getting everything assembled for that.
Yep, this is transmission cross member. It'll be removable.
Very important for everyone at home. If you can't remove your transmission cross member, it's gonna be very difficult to remove your transmission, and you want to be able to do that.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. This is very important. Nothing straighter than a string. Everything is centered in this truck, as should be. Everything's built off that, you know. So that's where we start. We lay that string down, find center of a vehicle, then we run our main frame rails, get our X's in there, our cross member again, tied into our 4-link.
And you did measure and test with a drive shaft that, you know, this is like something that I guess people can overlook, is when your drive shaft goes down, rear end separates, you might have clearance here, but not in your X. You said you already tested it.
Yes.
No clearance issues there, which is absolutely awesome.
We got a drive shaft in there touching here. We still have a 1/2 inch here.
Perfect.
More than enough.
Perfect.
More than enough.
And I guess, I mean, that's no complaints there. All my other stuff that I have issues with, I run into issues with hitting the X and hitting that, but this is,
Nope.
we're getting it right out the gate. I mean,
Yep.
God,
Yep.
what's gonna happen when we put like a 30-inch travel shock on it though? We're gonna have to have a big.
Yeah.
But no, I think it looks good. So, 4-link attaches to the frame here. So this is essentially where your 4-link cross member, is that what you
Yep.
call it?
Yep.
And then you're gonna tie it in up top from was it come off of like the main hoop?
Yep,
and
it'll come
everything?
off of there and get tied into the main hoop.
Okay.
You know, somewhere probably where our door X is.
Okay.
Just to triangulate that back down to the whole chassis.
Okay. And then as far as, I think you were talking about, we're gonna take these are the I guess what, just a factory cross member?
Factory cross member that was in there. We're probably going to remove them. Just not a clean way to tie squared it around, so we'll put a round tube in there.
Okay.
There'll be some other kickers off as well to get it so we can get 6.0 certed here.
And that, I guess the cert is just you just have to tie it into, if it has a factory frame, it's going to be tied in certain amount of places.
Yeah, this rail counts as a rail, tubing rail.
Okay.
You know.
So would they essentially consider this like a rocker bar?
Yeah, that would
Oh,
be
wow.
our outside rocker bar. Yeah.
Because that's kind of a pain. I mean, I know especially in like a car with factory floors where you're putting the cage inside of it, running a rocker bar is a pain in the ass.
Right,
You know, because
right.
you got like the kick panel there where you can't. So I mean, this is you run it right to it.
Yeah, and
you're
a
good to
lot
go.
of guys will run a rocker bar up on top. You know, this will be down underneath a lot cleaner.
Awesome. So as far as floor structure in the truck, I mean, I guess if you run that modified double frame rail, that'd kind of be it.
Right,
You know, I mean, you're not going to have. I know, like I got a 25.5 Mustang, and I got a lot of the floor structure is halfway through the floor where they welded it back. We don't have to do any of that. So
Nope.
the floor,
Nope.
it's going to be really tough for them to argue and say, oh, it doesn't have factory floors. Like these are 05 Colorado floors. Everything's underneath it.
That's as factory as it gets, and that's
Yeah.
as much frame as you get.
It's got a lot of frame. I'd say more than I'd like, but we're not. It's going to be very difficult to argue that does not have the frame rail that's needed to run in any class. Yeah. So as far as mounting like the seat and everything for the driver's compartment area, do you run bars here that are going to go up to the floor?
Yeah, we'll come off of this up to the main frame and tie the seat into that.
Awesome.
You
So
know.
I guess the whole thing is we're just tying everything together. The actual chassis of the truck.
Right, we're gonna marry the chassis to what you have here.
So it's gonna be
Right
pretty
to your
rigid.
factory. Yep. And we did run frame rails all the way to the front
All the way to the front. Yeah.
and tied into the cross member up front, just to give it a lot more stiffness. Our mid plate will be mounted off of this.
Yeah, so you got tied in here where I guess this is part of the K member.
Yep.
Essentially.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it doesn't really have. It's part of the frame. I'm used to like Fox body stuff and F body stuff where they have like a bolt-in K member. This thing is just. Yeah, so we have to run all factory location stuff. So where the control arm mounts is going to stay permanent forever. So he's got it tied in there. We're talking about doing some tubular control arm stuff just because we've really maxed out the. I mean, even before when I was doing the burnouts, the control arms weren't happy. So at some point we're gonna have to do something. It's on a Crown Vic spindle and factory Crown Vic brakes. So I'm not sure what Ford rated those two as far as braking power, but we'll probably piss them off rather quick.
Yeah, I could probably work on building a brake kit for it.
Yeah. I don't think anyone makes. If anyone's got a Crown Vic that's got like race brakes on it, let me know because I'll be interested in that. Oh, steering column, we're just going to loop it because I think this actually the column steers really good. Or sorry, the rack steers really good. We're going to have to build a bump steer kit for it. But other than that, I mean,
Yeah, right now the
angle.
bump steer is not ideal.
You lower the truck
Right.
another inch
Yes.
from where it was. I guess you set it on here on ride height that it was before.
No, we brought it down, and then I
then-
talked to you, and you wanted to come down another inch.
Yep.
And that's what creates all the issues with the tire angles and your bump steer angles.
Yep.
The lower you go, it starts not making things happy. So
And that's kind of, I guess, one of the downsides to running the factory style suspension. Because, I mean, if you run a strutted front end, I mean, you're just going to put in there and put a bunch of caster on it, steering rack.
Yep.
I mean, you're just going to make it right how you want it.
Right out of the
gate.
box, yeah.
Now we kind of have to modify and adjust. But, I mean, guess that's what it takes to fit the rules. So, everything, I mean, it looks awesome. The frame rails.
they make rules so guys like me stay up at night.
Yes, that's exactly right. The frame rails look good. Now, let me ask you, if you're going to run the double frame rail, like the upper frame rail part, will that come from the back where like the 4-link stuff goes?
Yeah, from the back where we're going to tie the 4-link into where the seat bar is, and then from the seat bar that'll get tied in to the frame rails here.
Awesome. So everything is just everything's tied
So you're
together.
gonna try to run a bar around the transmission tunnel to tie the double frame rail into in the mid plate.
Yeah, we're going to hopefully be able to sneak something up through here where the transmission's at, so we can get a good strong mid plate mount, and that's probably where we're going to tie that double rail into.
So it's going to be solid. I mean, it's going to be. There's no questions.
Pro mod.
Yeah. So easy.
Whoa.
Say it one time, everyone's like pro mod. It's not a pro mod. It's going to be just a very chassised up truck, but it'll be good. So you got to do motor plate and mid plate.
Yes,
As
yeah.
well.
Yeah, we'll also off of our cage up front, our dash bar, we'll run bars out to the front that will mount our motor plate to. So once again, that ties everything together front to back.
It's going to be solid.
Yes.
It's gonna be solid. Yeah, I'm very excited about the stuff. The work on it right now looks absolutely great. I guess so. You right now you just kind of have like the 4-link brackets on the rear end just to get your measurement. So
Yep.
what I think you mentioned to me that's like the last thing that you weld out, so you kind of close. It's one of the later things.
Yeah. I usually don't weld my 4-link brackets to the rear end until I'm all done. I get everything set in case anything had moved a little bit. When you're welding, you know, heat makes things move. That's always the last thing I do, so I can keep all these nice and free.
Yep.
You know.
That's pretty important. Now, as far as
and equal lengths, these are all set up on a jig and put up in there. You know, one bar is not a 16th shorter than the other. You know,
that does make sense.
Yes.
You know, that's why this is why I'm not doing it myself, because I'd have multi-length bars. Now, as far as everything right here, I mean, everyone's looking at the rear end, and there's like, it's just the rear end. It's going to be surrounded by bars, pretty much all the way to the back. So we'll hang our roll bar and our wishbone and all that stuff is going to be attached back here. But I mean, dude, it's.
Do you think on the rear, normally I guess you use 1.5 inches. Do you think it'd be beneficial to use 1 5/8 so we have a little bit more beefier rear setup to hang weight off of?
No, I think the 1.5 inches will be plenty. If I was going to hang weight, I would probably hang it off the rear.
Yeah, so you can do the rear end weight, and then we were thinking maybe in the tailgate, just so we can maximize.
No, we'll make 1.5 inches all the way to the back, and what we have with down bars, there'll be some webbing in there, so you'll be able to hang a lot of weight back there.
Yeah, just on my car I just did, and we ended up doing almost 1,000 pounds on the rear of it. So
you should see his car. He literally it's like at ride height it sits like this, and it goes down a gravel road. So the no prep stuff, it's definitely not what I'm used to.
That's a new high for me. I've heard 450. 1,000
pounds.
Yeah,
I guess if you got enough motor.
In a 2,100 pound car, the weight distribution is pretty good.
Yeah.
It makes 950 on motor. So.
I probably don't think you're going to be hanging 1,000 pounds off the back of this, but I could be wrong. You know.
Well, it's a truck, so we could put a trailer hitch behind it and put something on the ball if we need to.
Put one of them things that they stick in the trailer hitch, that basket on the back, and load that right out.
Just put that right there.
Put a lawnmower hanging off the back of it.
Yeah, no, I think it looks pretty good. I'm excited. So I guess probably the next time that we stop by, we'll see the I guess more stuff back here.
Yes, more stuff back here. Funny Car Cage should be in by then.
And there's some stuff that I gotta get. I gotta get a steering column. I'll probably use them like a Motion Race Works. They have like I guess it's kind of like a cut to length steering column, so you can make it however long you need. Pedal assembly. Well, I guess we don't need a pedal assembly right now. So I guess I just need to get you like steering column, strange hub adapter, and everything, so we can get all that stuff laid. Some Flaming River Heims, so you can connect to the steering rack.
Yep. Next time you come up, we'll get you in the seat and get that all fitted where we want it. Just get that all positioned so you're comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like right now it's just
I got to be able to
just
barely see over the dash, and I'm like, I feel comfortable here.
You just want to see your helmet sticking above the window. That's it.
Do you think you'll have to run a double or triple joint on the steering column to clear any of the headers?
Well, I'm going to say you're probably going to have to run a triple because of the angle of the rack.
It's at a gnarly angle.
It's a factory rack, and it is coming just about 90 straight up, so we're going to have to get into the inside, and we might even switch this to a Pinot style rack, which will be full manual, which will point out the back.
Yeah, I'm definitely not like 100% married to this.
Right.
It was just convenient.
With our bump steer issue out at the end, then we could put a joint out there so we could put a bump steer kit on it and get all that to where we want it. So the rack's
up for discussion.
Yeah, up for discussion.
Definitely not married to this one. I think what do you get a Pinto rack now for like $90?
Yeah.
Which might be out of the budget there.
Yeah. What happened here?
Pinto rack. Oh, this was just another one of those blocks where we're like, this one's had a good life, let's end it. And do you not see the hole on the other side too?
Yeah, it's a RUD, rapid unscheduled disassembly.
Yeah, that was it. This one made a mess. So
1 and 2 is gone.
They were no more. Just a good old rod break right out the side, right through the oil pan, everything. So
you weren't leaning on it, right?
Believe it or not, this is actually not my best work. My best work is one where only the balancer and front cover is usable. This one, the heads were still fine. So I can do better work if you need it. If you guys need any engine destruction. Oh, you could see, I don't know if you could see the cylinder head back here, but this has got a big hole. I torched a head right there and almost died. But yeah, that one's good.
And that's what would be nice about leaving the factory firewall in here. It's going to protect you, you know what I mean? If anything like that did happen.
And I think a big thing with the chassis stuff, obviously it's cool, it looks really nice, but it's here to serve a purpose. be safe.
Safety.
You know, you get into a wreck, you want to have a good chassis. I know there's guys out there that are just stick welding some stuff in their backyard, like, yeah, I got a cage, but I'll feel safe in this. And I think that in return, I can drive it a little bit harder. I feel comfortable going faster. I can push it and really go fast and be competitive where I feel I need to be. Where if I get into a car where I don't feel safe, I'm going to hold myself back a little bit. So just like the cow, I mean, I put the cow on the bumper. I don't think any of us ever thought the cow goes fast as it does, but I feel safe in that. Bob did an amazing job on the cage in there. And this is par for the course for up here at Kocher Chassis.
And vehicles are getting a lot faster anymore. I mean,
yeah, it's too easy to make 1,000 horsepower now, and
it really is.
On a radial, you know, you can go a lot faster than a lot of the chassis will are safe to go to. I mean, you got these guys going, you know, low
490s.
490s with a 10-point, and that's just getting to a point where it's just not safe.
Yeah, 10-point cookie cutter cage that you bought from
Jigs,
wherever, you know what I mean? And one is not welded good. It's not custom fit to the vehicle, so the guy's not even in it safely, you know. His head's against the bar or above. I seen one this summer. The guy had a T-top car. His head was like literally up in the T-top area, and the cage was down below him. There's no point in having a cage, you know.
Yeah.
Here, everything we do is custom built to the driver. When it leaves here, he'll think he's sitting in his living room recliner watching TV.
Right where I like to be. So if you guys are in the market for any chassis work, you need rear end work, you need to get a back half, you need to get a cage, turbo kits, I mean really anything, you hit up Bob here at Kocher Chassis. Their link's going to be in the description of the video, so click show more, the first link. You can send them a message on Facebook. They got their phone number there. You can call and talk Tracy. I don't think you're answering the phone too much.
No, I don't answer the phone.
You won't be able to talk to Bob right out the gate, but Tracy will get you all squared away. And I mean, the work shows for itself. Amazing work. I'm super happy with everything. I can guarantee I'm going to be bringing you more cars in the future because this one here, it's shaping up to be good. I love the cow. And I mean, this is just top-notch stuff. So if you guys are in the market for any chassis work, you want to build a car, you got a car that's going too fast, you need a cage put in it. Do you do chassis setup as well, everything like that?
Yeah, we do setup, you know, anything that has to do with a race car.
Anything that has to do with a race car, you can hit up Bob here at Kocher Chassis, and they'll get you taken care of. So first link in the description below. Check it out. You got a bunch of pictures up there.
Yep.
You just did I talk about it all the time, full-size truck. Looks absolutely awesome. Jason's his name, right?
Yep.
Yeah, he can get his ass busted by me when this thing's done. But anything, I mean, really, the work here is exceptional. Can we look at this again?
Yep. Yeah.
This is the Mustang that was actually on the lift last time, and see, this looks badass back here.
And that's what I was talking, you know, like to hang weight off of here with all the bracing
Support.
in here, support, gusset, and it's gonna be super strong.
Yeah, this thing looks awesome.
Yeah.
Got the anti-roll bar tied in there, the wishbone.
Yep. Yeah. This is 1.25 inches. You're going to be 1.5 inches, a little bit bigger, so
Okay.
you'll be fine.
Now, is this chassis here all Docal tubing as well?
This is Docal. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
It looks very good. Looks awesome. So what's left on this thing here?
We're going to do a titanium firewall on this and some carbon wheel tubs, and I think the owner's going to take it over from there.
Okay. Yeah, I mean it looks.
But that happens a lot. They say they're going to take it over from there,
And then
then it's, can you do this while it's here?
Yeah,
So.
this looks good. I like the pins, the quick pins for the drive shaft enclosure.
Yes,
I think
that's a McCamus drive shaft enclosure, chromoly, real nice to get the drive shaft out and service stuff.
Yeah, that looks really good there. So, yeah, I think you said last time this is gonna be a nitrous car.
Yep,
It's
nice.
gonna run some PDRA stuff. So
Yep.
it is sweet. So, and I mean, this thing's shredded front end. I mean, this is essentially a shell, and you just built everything else, and then slapped the shell on it.
Yeah. I mean, we even had to put a roof on it. This car was actually chopped.
Really?
Yes, it was pretty bad.
So was it a race car before?
Yes, it was a race car before. We took the chassis that was underneath it out from underneath it, and we hung some quarters on it, and it was a great decision to put the roof back to stock.
On it, yeah.
It was what someone was thinking. I don't know.
Well, this thing looks sweet. I mean, I guess the Colorado is not going to be as well. I don't know. I mean, I'm going to say the Colorado. What if it goes fast? And what if it's out here beating up on big block? I assume it's going to be a big block, right?
Yes,
Big block nitrous car.
Yep, big block Ford nitrous. Yep.
Damn,
Yeah.
this thing is a sharp looking car. The chassis work on it is. I taught you well, Bob.
Yes.
I taught you.
and we can as we talked last time.
Oh, so you guys remember, Bob had his Camaro on this table over here, and he said that he was going to maybe do some upgrades to it, and this is his Camaro now.
We decided to just go all new rather than cut bars out and take a good chassis that someone can use. I decided just to start new and start fresh.
So is the other chassis sitting over there? There's
Yes.
a whole 69 Camaro chassis.
Yep.
For sale?
For sale, yes it is.
So if anyone out there is wanting to go racing and get started, Bob's already got a full chassis, everything ready to go. I guess, what? I mean, all you gotta do is put a body on it and rear-end stuff underneath
put
it?
any first gen Camaro 108 wheelbase on it, and it's ready to go. It's a double rail car. It was good. It just
You want more?
went a different way. I lowered this car 3 more inches.
3 more inches.
3 more
Wow.
inches. Yep. Yep.
So what's your plan? Are you gonna run big tire stuff, no prep stuff, just pretty much
Yeah,
anything
big
you want
tire
to?
stuff. Yeah, and we do have an odd combination. We're running a Keith Black Oldsmobile motor in this. Is what we're going to run for power.
Okay.
Pro charged.
Bob loves his Pro Chargers. Can't forget, Bob loves his Pro Chargers. So how many turbo cars have you built? You built a couple of them?
Yeah, yeah. Andy Jensen, we did a turbo
Andy
car
Jensen
for
did
him.
that.
Yeah, yeah. He was.
Was that Chevy too?
Yeah, Chevy 2, 66 Chevy 2. He was 417. He went with that this summer,
Wow.
which is pretty good.
Wow.
Pretty good.
Yeah, that is pretty good. That is all steel, all glass.
All steel, all glass.
Like street car.
He drives it on the street.
Wow.
2 fuel systems. He runs a gas system and an alcohol system, so he can drive it to the track, switch fuel, and
Damn. Yeah.
go
I can't,
417.
I can't talk any smack on that. I'm not going 417. Not driving around on the street. Either,
Or
so.
since you got big tires and a big motor, you gonna give us the back tire and the brake when you come down and race?
Yeah. What do we get when we race? What are you gonna give me?
I got to see how fast that goes first. I'm building that too, so that's going to work as well as this. I don't. What I do for myself, I do for everyone.
Yep.
And every vehicle's that way with me. I don't play favors. You know what I mean? Like,
You want everyone to go out there and have the
yes,
best.
I want everybody to have the best and do the best.
Yep.
You know, if I get beat, I get beat.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, this thing is gonna be sweet, and so the whole body off that is a carbon body. It's steel quarter, steel roof, right?
Yep, steel quarter, steel roof. This will be carbon doors, carbon front end.
Awesome.
Um,
Yeah, this thing's gonna be pretty sick. So if you guys are in the market for, you want to get into it, you know, you want to go and buy a chassis, Bob's already got one ready to roll. Which, I mean, there was nothing wrong with it. You just want to do something.
it's just.
That's you
me
being you. You
lowering
want to do
it,
something different.
Right, with me lowering it and doing what I was gonna do, didn't make sense to cut that up.
Yep. So hit up Bob. Again, description. Links in the first. I fucked that up. Link is the. Go to the description below. It's the first link in the description to get a Kocher chassis. If you guys are interested in purchasing something he's already got built, you can hit him up and they got it right there. And then it's already here, so you can just finish it for him.
Yeah, there's no waiting. Like right now, we're 6 to 8 months waiting.
That one, it's already done.
That's sitting there. You know, if someone calls for that, there is no waiting period.
Awesome. Well, that's gonna wrap it up here. Next time we stop back in, like Bob said, probably have most of the tube and everything done in the back, get fitted for, I guess, seating position, just like finalize that.
Yep.
And
Get you
then
comfortable.
I gotta get you some stuff. I gotta get you a steering rack, steering column, and whatever else you need. So, Race Tech seat. You guys got it ordered. It's actually supposed to be here today.
It's supposed to be here today. Hopefully while you're here. So
Yeah, we'll see it. I sat in the other one in there, and again, the seat, it's really tough to compare to a Kirky. I was struggling to get out of it, you know, and I've never had that issue with a Kirky where I was like, this thing won't let me go, but I definitely like that, and I'm excited. The Colorado's gonna be sick. So check out Progress, check out everything. Go over to Kocher Chassis and check them out. Hit up Bob if you guys need anything. And I think that's a good update on this. We're rocking and rolling. Truck looks good. Bob's Camaro's coming along, and everything here, you're moving and grooving. And it's still snowing. It's like deja vu.
I think you bring it with you every time you come.